Hello everyone, welcome to our first special. Today we are with the famous personality Dr. Rajiv Nandi, who is the founder and chairman of Srishti Institute for Child and Adolescent Mental Health.
He is a RCI registered practicing psychologist specialized in the domain of child and adolescent well-being for the last 2 decades. He has worked at leading medical colleges, which includes AIMS and Lady Hardinge Medical College, Delhi. He is a founding member and National General Secretary of Association of Rehabilitation Psychologists and Professionals India. He has been active participant with the government on various disability issues during the pandemic and on many key decisions on mental health.
हेलो सर, वेलकम टू हेल्पर स्पेशल। आज मैं आपके सामने कुछ पेरेंट्स की क्वेरीज लेकर आई हूँ जो कि लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी टॉपिक पर है। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट आवर टॉपिक। सो व्हाट इज लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी? हाउ वुड दिस इफेक्ट चिल्ड्रन इन रियल टर्म्स?
Well, Divya, you have come on a very important discussion, I believe, and probably we are going to open a Pandora's box on this. And learning disability, basically, it's a neurological disorder. And here in this condition, children usually they're able to see, they can hear, and they have their intelligence in the range of near average, average, or above average. And their difficulties do not stem from the fact that they have inadequate education or experience or even the cultural factors. Cultural factors means where, say for example, a child going to a madrasa, for example. So if we test him on our regular learning disability tools, so probably the child will not be able to perform to those levels. But do we call that particular child as learning disabled? No, we would not like to call him as learning disabled. So we need to rule out that. Besides, there are these children, they find it difficult to process the information that they receive or whatever they acquire. There is some impairment which is as a result of some impairment in conceptualization, language processing, attention, motor problems, memory, and perception. And when I say perception, it includes both visual as well as auditory perception.
Okay, my next question is for you is how many types of learning difficulties are existent?
See, there are currently, I would say, there are 6 types of learning disabilities. And there are sub-conditions also. Each one of these conditions have their sub-conditions or subtypes as well. So majorly or broadly, I would say that the 6 conditions are, first is dyslexia. Dyslexia is basically a reading disability. And dysgraphia, it is basically a writing disability. Dyscalculia, it's a mathematical disability. Praxia, it is again a motor planning problem. Then there is a problem where we call as, where it's oral learning disability, we call it as aphasia, right? And then a new addition, I would say, is a non-verbal learning disability. So here there are 6 categories and each one of them have got their own subtypes, and maybe we can discuss, as you ask me more questions, we can discuss about it.
Okay. Is there any difference between special needs and learning disabilities?
Okay. So special needs, basically, it is a generic term, right? Say, for example, you get special needs. A child with intellectual disabilities has special needs. A child with hearing impairment, he has special needs. A child with ASD has special needs. So I would say that most children with difficulties or any form of wherever they are challenged, they have their own special needs. But when I talk about learning disabilities, yes, learning disability children, they also have their own special needs. So it is more in particular.
Both are different.
So I would not say different, but yes, here it is generic. Right, here I would call it as specific. The children with learning disabilities, they have their specific special needs. So they do have special needs. If you want to categorize them under the umbrella of special needs, yes, they also come under that umbrella of special needs and they have their own special needs.
So my next question is, how common are learning disabilities?
Well, as far as the prevalence is concerned, both whatever we get in terms of the researchers or the data that we can get from abroad. That is the National Institute of Health says that around 10 to 15% of children have learning disabilities at regular schools. And even with the current data that we get from different sources that is available in our country, even it says the same. It is somewhere around 10 to 15%.
Okay. Okay. How do you help someone with a learning disability to learn better?
Well, I would say that ये ना सब मिलके एक मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी टीम होता है. और ये मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी टीम में कौन कौन होते हैं? मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी टीम में एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट होते हैं, हम एक ऑक्यूपेशनल थेरेपिस्ट होते हैं, एक स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट होते हैं और एक स्पेशल एजुकेटर होते हैं. और स्पेशल एजुकेटर जो कि ट्रेंड है लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटीज़ में. अब इन सब का रोल है, जैसे कि आप जैसे एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट जो है वो अपना इवैल्यूएशन करते हैं, ऑक्यूपेशनल थेरेपिस्ट अपने जो फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस को देखते हुए अपना इवैल्यूएशन करते हैं. सिमिलरली ओरल लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटीज़ का जो इवैल्यूएशन है वो स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट करते हैं. Special educators, they go for an educational evaluation of such children. So each one of them have their own assessment methods. And then based on the findings of their assessments, then they provide with individual educational plan or sometimes IEPs we can call it for special educators, or otherwise we can call it as a generalized plan for each one of these professionals who do it. So it's basically a multidisciplinary team approach, both in terms of assessment as well as management.
Okay. Will child grow out of it? क्या चाइल्ड निकल सकता है बाहर?
देखिए ऐसा है कि अगर कई बार पेरेंट्स पूछते हैं कि मेरा बच्चा क्या ठीक हो जाएगा,
ये पेरेंट्स का कॉमन क्वेश्चन होता है कि पेरेंट्स कि हमारा बच्चा कब ठीक होगा, कितने दिनों में ठीक होगा. तो आप बताइए इसका क्या पेरेंट्स.
देखिए ऐसा है क्योंकि ये एक न्यूरोलॉजिकल डिसऑर्डर है. अगर मैं बोलता हूँ कि बच्चा ठीक हो जाएगा या क्योर हो जाएगा तो वो नहीं होगा, वो गलत बोल रहे हैं. The child cannot be cured of learning disability, but yes, with early intervention, with proper management, children with learning disabilities, they can learn better and they can go on to perform really very well in life. We have such numerous instances where people like Richard Branson, he owns the Virgin Atlantic, people like Steve Jobs, right? He had a learning disability and look at the remarkable achievements that he has made. Similarly, Tom Cruise, even our own Abhishek Bachchan. So all of them have learning disabilities, but still they could manage so well in life because probably they were identified well, they were managed well, they got the social support that was required, and that's the reason why they could perform to their potential and they went on to go on to become a सक्सेस स्टोरी.
या मतलब बेसिकली यही है कि अर्ली इंटरवेंशन में अगर पेरेंट्स ने डिसीजन ले लिया ही कैन ग्रो. बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल वो इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं और बहुत अच्छा कर सकते हैं और दूसरों को आउटशाइन कर सकते हैं. और कई बार इनमें ऐसा स्किल्स होता है तो देखने को मिलता है कि वो बहुत बेहतर होता है दूसरों के अपेक्षा.
बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल भी बन सकते हैं वो. कैन यू डेवलप अ लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी व्हेन are learning disability usually diagnosed?
So developing a learning disability means you are asking me whether a child can acquire a learning disability after birth. So generally what we get to see is that since it's a neurological disorder, again I would repeat that generally the child is born with this difficulty, but we cannot say that it cannot be, the difficulties cannot rise because of some other condition, but that is extremely rare. Right, and the second question that you asked was
when are diagnosed.
So the children generally we get to see these symptoms at the age of 4 or 5 years of age, and when we get these symptoms, then we suspect a learning disability, though we are not in a position to give them a diagnosis of a learning disability. So what we do is with this the child can be diagnosed at age of 6 or 7 years of age. A formal diagnosis of a learning disability can be given.
Okay. If a child has ADHD, is this a learning disability?
Well, when you say a child has ADHD, basically ADHDs can coexist with learning disability. That is what we call as comorbidity of ADHD with learning disability. But if you say that whether ADHD is a learning disability, no, it is not. It is not a learning disability. So, but at times and at many a times we get to see that both of them coexist with each other, and that's what we call as comorbidity of ADHD with learning disability.
If a child seems to be struggling in school, how do you find out if they have learning disability?
Well, so there are certain symptoms, and what are the usual symptoms? The first symptoms that I would actually tell the parents, whosoever might be listening to this, to me, or hearing this, looking into this video, I would say that one of the major symptoms that we get to see is we really need to take care of the developmental delays first, number one. Number two is language delay. A language delay can also make us suspect that, okay, there could be a difficulty in the times to come. Secondly, next, it could be a child who is finding it difficult to differentiate between shapes, because most of our alphabets are shape based. If a child is struggling to identify shapes at early age, so probably we'll have to really try to make the child overcome that, or look into this fact that why is the child not able to do it. So a red flag sometimes comes to our mind, that this is a red flag and we need to take care of it. Besides this, a child who is not able to identify the sounds related with this with the particular shape, then differentiate between the sizes, not able to read alphabets, read the words, read sentences. A child who forgets easily, that where we would say that the child is struggling with his memory. He is struggling even in the playground, where he's not able to balance himself. He trips over, not able to he's not coherent with his speech, right? At times he might be speaking irrelevant, right? Might have issues with his social behavior. So these are some of the early signs of a learning disability, which parents must take care of. And if they find that it is there, they must immediately wake up and go and speak to the school teacher, and then through that channel probably reach the right place to get a diagnosis.
Is there any medical treatment is available for the learning disability problems?
Well, the role of people like pediatrician and psychiatrist cannot be underestimated. The pediatrician is the first contact person of the child in terms of a child's growth and development. So that's, a toddler, a newborn child usually reaches the pediatrician for his screening, for evaluation, whether the child is developing fine or not. So it's the pediatrician who picks up whether there are any developmental delays. Right, so he's the first contact person who is able to probably identify or look into the red flags whether there is a developmental delay. Besides this, the role of a psychiatrist, of course, he looks into the comorbidities which exist along with learning disabilities, like, say, for example, the ADHD that we discussed just now. It could be the conduct disorders that is existent along with a learning disability. It could be the various anxiety disorders which may coexist along with a learning disability. So the role of psychiatrist also is important in these conditions.
Okay. So what CBSE rules are available for learning disability students for education?
Well, the CBSE is actually done a lot of good to such children, and nowadays, because of this major thrust from the CBSE, that there is a lot of inclusion happening all around, that we see it in Delhi, at many other places, wherever people are really following the CBSE rules, right? And the CBSE has come up with one important rule for students, in the sense that a child is exempted from there are 3 languages, and one language can be exempted in the class range of 6 to 8, right? So this is number 1 concession. The number 2 concession that the child can get, or exemption that the child can get, is when the child is in class 10th. So he can, instead of 2 languages, the child can opt for 1 language. Besides, there are there are many subjects which are not from the regular subjects that the child usually do in the regular classrooms in class 10th, and so he has those range of subjects to choose from. So he can choose painting, introductory IT, home science, commerce. So there is so many, even typewriting. So there is so many other subjects where the child can choose from, and he has the option of that exemption from particular subjects if he is not able to do well in those subjects, along with the languages. Besides this, the child gets the opportunity to use a scribe, right? And the scribe actually has to be one class. He should be studying at least one class below the current level where the child is studying, and generally it is allowed that the child can meet the scribe even a day before, so that there is a little bond when the child goes for the examination the next day. And then there is extra time. The extra time usually for a 60-minute paper is usually 1 hour. So you can say 15 minutes per hour. So if it is a 3-hour paper, it is 1 hour. If it is a 2.5-hour paper, so accordingly it will be the timings would be such. So every 15 minutes you get, for every 1 hour you get 15 minutes extra time. So and another best thing that happens is that CBSE has taken care is many parents, बहुत पेरेंट्स हमसे पूछते हैं कि क्या मेरे बच्चे के सर्टिफिकेट में वो लेबलिंग आ जाएगा, क्या उसको लर्निंग डिसेबिलिटी था? और CBSE has taken care of that there is no labeling in the certificates. There is no labeling. कुछ लिख के नहीं आता है कि आपके बच्चे को कुछ एक्स्ट्रा हमने कोई ऐसा प्रोविजन दिया हुआ है जिसके कारण इसने कोई एक्स्ट्रा प्रोविजन के कारण इन्होंने एग्ज़ाम क्लियर किया। ऐसा कोई हिसाब नहीं है, और उसके थ्रू बच्चा बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म करता है, और उनको उस राइट से इन बच्चों को बहुत भला हुआ है।
Okay, thank you so much for this sharing beautiful and informative knowledge. So one last message for our Help for Special YouTube channel.
This is a wonderful channel. I would say this channel is bringing all the professionals together, and I believe the institutes together, right? And I believe with talking to various professionals, and where they are able to discuss about their niche areas of the area that they belong to, I'm sure that the parents would get immensely benefited out of it, right? And parents के लिए ये है कि चैनल देखते रहिए वो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, और it will definitely help your children.